Hey, so this video is on performance recognized, performance repeated, or you could say behavior recognized is behavior repeated. It also a good review of the gold star system that we've experienced as children. But somewhere in the mix, we either stop using it to develop people in our lives, or it stopped being used with us or on us to develop us. So yeah, this whole idea came about because I was talking to my mom today about exercise and being consistent with it and everything, to strengthen her well-being. And so the idea came up with was like, let's acknowledge or recognize the behavior of exercise one day at a time. And I started thinking about this again because I want to thank Jake Kuhn, the company I work for. We hired him to work with our receptionists and some other key projects. I don't know exactly what he does, but mainly our receptionist program, because we have thousands of them, hundreds of them, not thousands, but hundreds of them throughout the country. And one thing I got from the message that he gave was to look for things that people are doing well, find people making great decisions, find people doing things right is essentially what it is. And then when we acknowledge somebody when they do something right, you give them a gold star, that behavior is then repeated. And they've done tons of studies on this concept where, when you acknowledge a behavior, whether it be good or bad, that behavior will continue to repeat because we love to get attention as human beings overall. So that's why we have to be careful. Sometimes when we're raising children and when I'm involved and interacting with my nieces and nephews, you almost want to yell at them when they do something that we view as wrong. But in that moment, we're now acknowledging the behavior that we're yelling about or we're complaining about. And so that behavior is more likely to be repeated because consider somebody would rather be yelled at than to be ignored. And that's something that, again, they've done a lot of work on. So what's neat is my mom actually made herself her own system. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I was like, awesome, Mom, this is cool. So she said, what, let me go ahead and praise myself. And, she has Sunday through whatever. And then she gave herself a little star, a little sticker for riding the bike today, and she put the date and how long she went for. So, what I want you guys to consider, and me too, is let's not wait for somebody else to create a gold star system. Let's create our own for ourselves. This reminds me of the, what was it? The 1 Minute Manager. Yeah, and I know there's a part of that talks about praising ourselves and acknowledging ourselves for a job well done and not waiting for somebody else. Because if we wait for other people, consider that's our way of being irresponsible. We're not taking responsibility for our motivation and action and creating and producing overall. We're waiting for someone else. So, sometimes it's good to be our own best coach. I know for years in the gym, I'd almost finish a workout and I'd look at it as wasn't good enough, and so I'd be acknowledging or recognizing almost like negativity. Now I acknowledge just the completion of the set. I literally go, good job, Joe. And I also acknowledge people around me. Sometimes I don't always say something to them, but under my breath or in my mind, I go, great job. Well done. And I get inspired by the people around me. So, to me now with exercise, I'm constantly acknowledging, recognizing the behavior of exercise in itself, so that way I could continue to do it, and I do it, with fun overall. Let's look at where, if we are in charge of managing people, where can we create more of these gold star type systems in our own organizations? And it's fun. I also think about this comes up with coupons. I know at my dry cleaning, I get a stamp every time. And it makes sense now. It's I feel good. I'm earning these points essentially, going and bringing in my dry cleaning. And I think about just any acknowledgement or recognition in general, employee of the month, or so let's look for our people doing things well. Let's acknowledge that, and then that behavior will be repeated. I find too often, even with me, I wait for somebody to make some sort of a mistake. And I don't yell at them, but I'm still acknowledging the mistake by saying, hey, that doesn't work. Let's go ahead and change it. I'd almost prefer in that moment to wait a little while, review the positive behavior that we're looking for, review the action that we're looking for, and then review it with them, have them do it, and then acknowledge that. Hey, great job. So just a different twist on it overall. Anyway, let's go ahead and give other people gold stars. Let's go ahead and give ourselves gold stars. Let's acknowledge and recognize the behavior that will lead to growth, will lead to well-being, will lead to just positive motion moving things forward. So you get a gold star for me for just watching this video and also interacting with other people and caring about your own growth. Have a good day.